Hello and welcome to Walker Athletic Complex as we have another men's soccer game today starting at 2 p.m. Kickoff in just about 10 minutes. Got your starting lineup for you. Try to rush that in before National Anthem comes. And then we're going to take one break and then the game will start. Starting in goal for Pfeiffer, we have Giovanni Herrera, number 1, the goalkeeper. Number 2 coming on is Kristen Cabrera. 5, Jesse Dancy. 8, Sam Stewart. 9, Kaz Dabrowski. 10, Caleb Bradiger. 15, Jason Leva. 20, Branson Adams. 21, Nico Soriano. 24, Nigel Johnson. And 29, Jamarcus Timmons. For your Piedmont College Lions, if you tuned in yesterday, you saw Justin Dees fall down, maybe hurt his shoulder a little bit. I saw him in the calf later today. He seems all right. Head coach Jimmy Stevens maybe taking the precautionary side here with his athletic trainer Courtney Zimba and sitting him for this contest. So starting in the goal, you have Cameron Verona. You have, I believe it will be Mihai State and Ian Addison as the 2 center backs. You'll have Bradley Geiger, number 12, the freshman, coming back for a right back, and you have JoJo Crofy probably coming out as the left back. Your senior striker, Cameron Earls, will be back in contest today after missing the last 2 on suspension from that red card. You'll have Sailor, Ruiz, and Matthew Lofton, I would assume, starting in center mids, with Sailor taking the CDM role. You have Owen Gates on the left, most likely. Actually, you'd have Malaman Jallo on the left, at number 9. And then you have Owen Gates, number 28, coming back as the right mid. We're going to take one quick break as you watch the teams line up and get ready for the contest by having the national anthem. But you're listening to Piedmont College Athletics on YouTube. Hello and welcome back to the broadcast. Nick Pope here, bringing you the color and play-by-play. We have Christian Castro on the camera doing all the camera duties for the Lions today, and we're moments away from kickoff here. Exciting matchup for the Lions as it's a non-conference opponent, but as the Lions got their first win of the season yesterday, they'd like to keep that going, get more goals on the boards. That they scored 5 yesterday. Ricardo Ruiz getting the start today as Dees went out yesterday with that hurt shoulder. Mihai State got pushed back, and Ricardo Ruiz, the 2-time goal scorer from yesterday, will be in the starting lineup. Exciting start for him. We have Lofton and Saylor in the midfield, a bunch of young names, and a bunch of exciting opportunities for head coach Jimmy Stevens. As his team is young, that just means there's more opportunities for growth and more opportunities to get better. As I believe we're starting, I would say 6 different freshmen. You have 3 seniors on the field, the only 3 other players with Earls, Addison, and Verona in goal. Verona in goal would love to get a clean sheet today. I know that's what a keeper always desires. But we're live here. Nigel Johnson beats Molliman there. Gonna try to find the midfielder. Midfielder number 9, Kaz Dabrowski with the through ball. Griegel cuts it out. The through ball, and it ends up in Verona's hands. Dangerous opportunity there. Ball just going over the top, over both center backs. Verona's loud enough, pushes the team up the field. Probably going to punt it here. See, punts it. Looked like Earls got a couple hands in the back, was asking for the call. I know for the Lions, they love having Earls back on the field. Very dangerous header of the ball he has as Addison clears it. Back to Giger. Cut out by Saylor's deflection. Ruiz fighting in the midfield for the ball. Goes all the way back to center back number 5, Jesse Dancy. He's going to take it all the way to the keeper. Cameron Earls is going to be pressuring it as the keeper just clears it upfield towards Giger. He wins the ball. Header ends up in Lofton's lap. They attempt a through ball, get it to the striker of number 10, Caleb Bradiger, but he was offsides, I believe. Yes, he was offsides. As they choose to take it quick. Addison to Saylor, back up to Lofton. Lofton gets bodied off the ball, working back. That's one of those petty fouls, as fellow broadcaster Davis Barlow would say. Loses the ball, gets frustrated, and fouls. Nico Soriano taking this free kick. Believed to be serving it. Interesting here, if you look down the field, you'll see Addison's man instantly went to front post so that he's not in the play, as they probably try to hit it over him. As we get a whistle, that was a foul. I believe the guy just ran over our left back, Jojo Crofy. As Verona takes it off the floor, finds Addison, and we'll reset as it goes over to State. The Crofy up the field to Jallo. Intercepted. Ends up in Jallo's hands anyways. As Nigel Johnson clears that ball out of bounds, it deflects off Jallo as they get the throw in. Early throw in here for Johnson. As they reset all the way back to center back Johnson. There's Adams in the corner being pressured by Gates. Wins himself a throw in right next to the Pfeiffer Falcons bench. Back to Gates, back to Geiger. And it goes out of bounds as the Falcons get another throw in deep in their own third. Mia State with a great tackle there as Addison was out. That was a dangerous opportunity for the Lions. Gates with the ball, gets a turn, loses the ball, finds Soriano, who is going to reset back to Johnson. Back to Johnson here. Earls forcing him to one side of the field as Johnson beats Gates and Lofton, but ultimately loses the ball. Back to Gates, back to Slate, back to Johnson, who resets it all the way back to State. And Jallo inside, back to Ruiz, back to Jallo. As Jallo keeps it in, ends up in Johnson's foot. Dangerous opportunity for the Lions as Ruiz wins the ball. Leva back to Johnson, back to Herrera, back to Soriano, beats Jallo out of the back. Plays the ball deflected by Ruiz, back to Saylor. Tried to get a through ball through to Jallo, but Jallo was just hanging out off sides. A couple of dangerous opportunities here for the Falcons, as you would not want to see your two center backs trying to beat any players off the field by dribbling. But maybe coach is giving them the freedom. As Herrera comes up to take this free kick, looks like he's going to just boom it long. Ends up not, finds number 5, Jesse Dancy on the left side. Dribbles towards Gates, gets the through ball through, ends up in Addison's probably going to play Verona here. Verona has time as Crofy gets wide. Plays Crofy the ball. Jallo needs to work back here to create an opportunity. As Crofy really just takes his time. Finds State. Working it around the back as State dribbles it forward. Ultimately needs more help in the midfield, it looks like. As State dribbles up the field, he needs one of the center mids to check in for him, as Jallo was pretty much manned up by number 24, Nigel Johnson. Ball ends up in Jesse Dancy's foot, and it goes all the way back to keeper Giovanni Herrera. Big ball towards Geiger. Geiger wins the deflection towards Ruiz. And Lofton, now Gates. Back to Timmons. Inside to Dabrowski. Back out to Johnson. Johnson with the shot. Just pulled it wide. Something Jallo is going to have to look out for. If Johnson is willing to shoot from there, maybe he has a dangerous strike, and Jallo will need to follow him a little bit more. Some outside backs are not the most technical, but Johnson looks like he has a good strike on him. Ended up just pulling that one a little wide, though. As Verona finds it back to State for the short ball. Inside, dangerous ball by Crofy. Bad giveaway here. Ends up in Lofton's foot. Back to Ruiz, who lost the ball again. Ends up in Soriano's foot. Back to Johnson, back to Soriano. Into Dabrowski. Through ball there. Dangerous opportunity for the Falcons. As a big save by senior Cameron Verona pushes it out for the corner. Great run there by the senior striker, or not senior striker, by number 2 striker, Christian Cabrera. Great opportunity there, splitting both center backs. Goes behind State. Addison's got to be louder, calling him out as Verona bails him out of the back. Corner here for the Falcons, first of the game. Dangerous opportunity. Dabrowski gets a shot off. Back to Dabrowski. As we get another service here. Dangerous. Addison with the big clear upfield. Earls almost wins that ball to Jallo, as Jallo would have been in on goal. And we're resetting for the Falcons as the Lions push back up the field, all the way back to Herrera. Herrera to Johnson, not Soriano, excuse me. Big ball by Herrera, ends up in Ruiz's lap. Back to Lofton. Lofton's probably going to pull it here. Gets a pull right at Herrera as Herrera catches the ball. Dangerous opportunity. Lofton's got a good strike on him. Ultimately didn't get enough of that one as he hit it right at the keeper. Both keepers here playing the ball short a lot. As it goes out to the left back, number 20, Branson Adams. Inside to Lofton as Lofton gets fouled by Dabrowski, I believe. We're going to get a service here by Saylor, it looks like, potentially. Nah, he just plays it back to Addison. Out to Crofy. Back to State. Into Mihai State. Great work there by Ruiz. Lofton needs to turn the field there and not force it back the same direction as Leva beats Geiger as well. Ends up in Timmons' foot. Timmons, Addison outside. Number 20 gets the shot off, but I believe they called offsides. Yes, they called offsides on Timmons, as Addison will take the free kick. Back to State. Back inside to Ruiz. A couple of freshmen on this right side here. Back to Crofy, another freshman. All the way back to senior Verona. Back to Addison. Inside to Lofton. As Lofton really just took it too easy. Really could have turned there, it looks like, here from the booth. Could have turned. Addison needs to be loud, telling him he's got time to turn or right back to him. Either way, out of bounds. Throw in for the Falcons. I believe that's Timmons out there taking the throw in. Hands it back into Dabrowski. Might be a long throw. So he takes a couple steps back. Looks like he's axe throwing. Yeah, long throw here. Over everybody. Down to Crofy. Jallo and Johnson racing after the ball. Jallo gets beat with this one. Johnson in the corner. Gets a service, but Crofy just clears it out of bounds. Or not out of bounds. Up the field towards Soriano. Soriano keeps it in bounds. Probably going to reset here as Earls is chasing this one all the way to Herrera. Forcing the long ball again. Need a big win here by Crofy. Big win into Saylor. Saylor needs to take a touch there. Dabrowski all right on his back. Dangerous giveaway here. Back to Dabrowski. Back through to number 10. Gets a shot off. Just wide as Verona, I believe, had the hand. That was Caleb Bradiger getting the shot off for the Falcons. Dangerous giveaway there by Ruiz and Saylor there. Ruiz, Saylor, and Lofton giving the ball away a few too many times here in the midfield. Back up to State, all the way out wide to Malaman Jallo. And looks like Johnson's got Jallo's number today. Yesterday in the broadcast, I picked out the right back early in the broadcast saying Jallo should take him on. Ultimately in the second half, he did and got a goal out of it. Johnson might have his number here. Over everyone here as Johnson gets back to it all the way back to Herrera. Earl's there complaining for a push in the back. Back up the field, finds Dabrowski. Ends up back in Dabrowski's hands. Close turn away there. Ends up in Saylor's foot, all the way back to Addison for the reset. Over to Geiger. Up to Gates, his first action on the ball today. Ends up in Lofton's foot. So we get a through ball there by one of them as they call Earls offsides. It's a close one there. Maybe held the ball a little too much. Maybe Earls left early. As the free kick will be taken pretty much parallel here with the booth as it goes out to Soriano, back to Herrera. Chip here to Johnson. Johnson takes it off his chest, dribbling forward. Ruiz pressuring him behind. Great ball there by Johnson to find number 10, Caleb Radiger, but got a little too much pace on it as it ends up in Verona's hands. Addison and State have to get that one taken care of. As that run is in between them, you have to be louder knowing that the ball is coming behind you. All the way up to Earls, or Herrera, pressured by Earls. Hits it long, settled by Ruiz. Out to Jallo. Needs to get to the end line, get a cross in. Way too casual for Jallo as he just gives the ball away. Needs to be more dangerous there. Finds Bradiger up top. Ends up in Leva's hands, or feet, better. Ended up in the foot of Sam Stewart, number 8, one of the midfielders for the Falcons. As Crofy takes the throw in. Crofy takes the throw in, finds Earls, didn't get quite the flick he was looking for. Back up towards Ruiz. As Addison challenges the ball, loses it. Dabrowski outruns Lofton, ends up with Geiger. Back to Addison. Geiger gets, as Dabrowski falls, gets a little time on the ball as he finds Lofton back in the midfield. Lofton, big switch all the way to Lehigh State. We got numbers on this side of the field. Crofy should take it up the field. The ball almost ran out of bounds. As the Falcons reset. Back to Saylor, up to Jallo, up to Ruiz, back to Crofy, back to Saylor. Bad giveaway here as Saylor gives it away towards Dabrowski, but gives the ball away again, ends up in Geiger's foot. Up to Gates, back to Lofton, back towards Owen Gates. Too much pace on it as Lofton had time, maybe could have switched the ball again there. Dribbled on towards the center back, maybe finding Earls. That's all hindsight 2020. Dabrowski with the ball. Pressured by Saylor, forced him all the way back to center back. Ends up in Nico Soriano's feet. Back up to Cabrera. Couple of big challenges there by Crofy as he gets it out to Jallo. Finds Earls up top. Great ball back in. Might find his way all the way back to Gates. Gates with a big tackle win there. Oh, big cutout there by center back Soriano. Finds Dabrowski. Back to Leva. To Cabrera. Won again by Crofy. To Lofton, who has plenty of time. Chooses Bradley Geiger, freshman, right back for the Lions. And Geiger finds State now. Maybe the left side of the field is open. All the way up to Ruiz. Back to Jallo, who beats the right back as he is potentially getting carded. Nope, just a warning there is number 24, Nigel Johnson. Getting a warning there, was a little late on that challenge. Ref just called him over, made sure to keep the game in check as we are here early in the contest. No subs yet. No sub yet, but we're 8 minutes into the half. So we have Saylor here, probably going to try to find Addison, the tallest man on the field, on the back post. Gets a good ball here, might end up towards Addison. Challenged by Cameron Earls. Earls and Addison both end up behind the goal as the ball gets punched out by Herrera. Finds Sam Stewart. Big win here by Ruiz, might get another service towards Earls with a header. A great header, great ball by Ruiz. As Cameron Earls gets his goal. 2 games off, comes back, scores here within 10 minutes as the Lions star striker loves the opportunities and loves being back on the pitch here as we are 10 minutes into the contest, up 1-0 against the Falcons. Here. And those are the balls you can't give away for the Falcons. I believe it was taken off of one of the center mid's foot. Actually, it looked like maybe number 2, the right mid now, as they made some changes. Kristen Cabrera. Ruiz gets the ball, gets a great service off. Earls gets a great diving header to put it in the back corner. And I do not know what's going on. Maybe a clock issue? I think we're redoing kickoff. Yeah, as everyone gets back on their side, we're redoing kickoff. I do not quite know why. But we'll redo it again. 10 minutes in here. Lions have the lead off of a Cameron Earls header. Great service by Ricardo Ruiz, the freshman. Got 2 big goals yesterday, gets a good service here today. Continue his stellar play for the Lions. So ends up in Stewart's foot again. Soriano looking up the field. Back to Leva. Back to Soriano. Back to Stewart, all the way back to Herrera. Right here as the ball goes back, you can yell, or you can hear Addison yelling for everyone to step up. Almost at the Lions logo is the Lions back line. As it ends up in Earl's hands, back to Gates. Gates going to take him on. Gates had numbers there. As it ends up with Saylor, back to Geiger, back to Saylor. Saylor does well there. He's really dangerous looking both ways. As it ends up in Ruiz's feet as well. Ruiz with almost a good ball, little out of Malaman Jallo's reach as it goes out of bounds. Ends up as a throw-in for Nigel Johnson, number 24 for Pfeiffer. Looking up the field, probably just going to throw it long. Ends up in Crofy's foot. Great win there to find Jallo. Great beat by Jallo as he gets the Meg, but right in front of us, Johnson wins the ball back, wins it off of Jallo's foot, gets a throw-in into Leyva. Leyva just mishandles it, goes out of bounds for Crofy. So we get a substitute coming in here for the Lions. It is number 9, Malaman Jallo. And coming into the game is freshman Matthew Franklin. Yep, that's what will be going on. We will have Matthew Franklin up top now. Cameron Earl sitting into a CAM. And Matt Lofton now coming out from center mid to left mid. There. Earl's here, really a utility player for the Lions. Playing every position just about, minus goalkeeper. Good service here by Lofton. Gets cleared out of bounds. Ends up in Timmons' feet. Challenged by Gates. Finds Dabrowski. Dabrowski looking up the field. Gets a service. Gets a big ball. And very well done there by Verona. Outside his box, but clears it out with his foot anyways. As Soriano clears it out of bounds. Another throw in here for Crofy. As you can see, maybe on the camera, couldn't tell. Our ball boys are Coach Peeps and a few other Piedmont and Falcons faculty, as we have no fans here at Walker Athletic Complex. Currently in the Piedmont policy, getting reevaluated shortly. But we have no fans here, so we have ball spread all around the field. And we have Coach Peoples running balls for us. As that ball got broken out into the midfield, Dabrowski towards Geiger. Geiger clears him out. I don't believe he's getting a yellow card, but he's getting a talk to as well. Yeah, he's pointing to a couple different places where Geiger has fouled the man and is saying no more. So next one for Geiger will most likely be a yellow card, but for now, no bookings, only one goal. That one lone goal brought by senior Cameron Earls with his head. Soriano debating where the free kick should be taking. Ends up right on the other side of the center circle. It's a beautiful day here on campus as Soriano gets the service. Ends up in Verona's hands. But beautiful day here on campus. After raining for about a week and a half straight, we finally have some sun 2 days in a row. Hard to come by here recently with Georgia's weather. But better than Texas. Know that for sure. Texas would be frozen out, no power. Millions of people with no power in Texas. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers as well. It ends up in Saylor's foot as it goes up to Earls. Finds Ruiz with a sweet little touch there. Ends up with Cabrera, plays Johnson. Crofy slips. Johnson still battling with Ruiz now. Ruiz with a big tackle. Great win by Saylor. Back to Lehigh State and out to Lofton. Great play there by the Lions to break it. Lofton pushing up the field, getting chased by Leyva. Really showing off some speed, that freshman is. Leyva, great work there to win the ball back as Lofton will get carded. Another one of those petty fouls I was talking about. Lofton needs to keep those in check. As he gives the ball away, he tends to get frustrated, maybe hip checks the guy a little bit. But great work there by Leyva, the center mid, chasing the man all the way back as Johnson was out of play, the normal right back. Looking to the other sideline, it doesn't look like Coach Jimmy Stevens is having anyone warmed up. Gonna leave Lofton in, trust him to not make any mistakes. as we get our first booking here in the 21st minute of the first half. As gameplay resumes, we have Johnson taking the free kick. Might just serve this long. Instead going to find center back. As Gates pressures him, goes up in the air, going to be challenged by Franklin now. Big clearance by Soriano, nothing dangerous, or not taking any chances there, excuse me. For Johnson, got a little too much on that ball. Maybe the right idea to skip one center back, play the other one. As number 5, Jesse Dancy took it off his chest. Owen Gates was all over him, forced the turnover. Back to Gates, back to Geiger. Wins another throw in. As Earls finds it, gets a service, finds Lofton. Lofton getting a header on it, couldn't get underneath it enough. Just flicks it out of bounds. But another good service there, dangerous opportunity there for the Lions as we get another header. This one not on goal by the freshman Matthew Franklin. Soriano getting pressured by Franklin. As a striker there, you're asked, don't let them switch the field, and Franklin does well there as Herrera just forces the ball long. Lofton with the ball, gives it away, ends up in State's foot, takes no chances, hits it to the softball field. With all these balls going out, you can now see Camp Poe walking over to get that one off of the field. As I was saying, we have no ball boys and ball girls here today as the ball gets flicked on to Franklin, mishandles the touch, ends up in Geiger's possession. Gonna hit it back to Addison. Addison just booms it long, taking no chances again. And that's the foul Cameron Earls was asking for early in the contest. A little push in the back. Gets the foul that time. As Earls will take this free kick. He's probably gonna look over here towards Lofton. Sending a through ball towards Lofton. Franklin's gonna try to head it on. Back to Johnson. Johnson does very well there. Dangerous service, good contest by Franklin. Lofton following it in. Johnson does well to force it just back to the keeper. So Franklin wins it. Gets the shot off, pulls it wide, and Owen Gates cannot get on the end of it. Not sure if that was a cross or a pass, or a shot or a pass, but either way, Gates was right there. Could have put it in the goal. As it just trickles out of bounds. Rare taking the free kick, pushing his center backs up the field. Gonna have a contest here to win the ball towards Earls and Dabrowski. Dabrowski wins this one. Addison clears it out of bounds. Dabrowski taking the throw in, finds Stewart, back to Dabrowski, back to Stewart. Probably gonna switch the field here. Lofton has to follow as Johnson pushes up the field, finds Leyva. Back to the other Johnson on the field. Back to Stewart. Dancy puts it long towards Geiger and Caleb Breidiger as Geiger just hits it out of bounds. Might not have had enough pace on it to shield it out of bounds. Another long throw in here for number 9, Dabrowski, for the Falcons. Dabrowski with the big throw here towards Earls and Addison. They don't talk well enough as the ball goes in the net. As Addison and Earls both contest for the ball. I believe that's number 8, Sam Stewart, getting on the end of it, getting the goal for the Falcons. Big throw in there by Dabrowski. First one wasn't as dangerous as that throw. And Earls and Addison do not talk well enough or either just get beat to the ball by Stewart. Either way, tied broadcast here at the 23rd minute in the contest. To Crofy. To State, to Addison. You know, that's a tough break for the Lions. Really dominated all possession, dominated all opportunities besides a few. They win one throw in and really get the goal as State hits it up to Lofton. Lofton mishandles it. Johnson might have an intimidating factor. Both Jallo and Lofton have both really struggled here on this left side of the field. As they call a foul. We have Stewart dribbling towards Earls in the midfield. Getting through to Dabrowski, towards Geiger, got to do well here. Towards Saylor again, does very well. Saylor with a big touch, leading it in the break. Gets the ball towards Gates. Gates keeps it in. As it ends up in Herrera's hands. Good ball there by Gates. Franklin maybe not expecting the ball to come so soon. Ends up towards Addison, gets beat out by Bradiger. Ends up in Carofi's possession, who plays it back to Verona. Verona taking it cool and casual, like he always does, in goal for the Lions. Big ball here by Addison. Couldn't find Franklin up top, as Soriano handles it casually. Johnson pushed in, left Soriano no opportunity but to play it forward. As Saylor goes to the ground, Dabrowski gets called with the foul. Doesn't like the call at all. Here's Lofton towards Johnson again. Still doesn't get by Johnson. And now here's Saylor, back to State. Gonna play Addison, switch the field. If I'm the Lions here, I target number 20, Branson Adams. Doesn't look as solid, the left back, as the right back over here in Johnson. It's up in Stewart's foot. Back to Geiger, another throw in next to the Piedmont bench. So it ends up in Franklin's foot. Gives the ball away, back to Johnson. Back to Dabrowski, challenged by Ruiz. Ends up in Dancy's foot, who plays it out of bounds. The ref bringing back something for Dabrowski. Maybe a foul, maybe a little tug of a shoulder, maybe just a mouth. Either way, getting a warning as well. Ref is not putting up with any shenanigans today. As the Lions give the ball away on the far side of the field again. As Gates gets beat by Adams. Up to Stewart, through ball looking to go up. Ends up in Bradiger's, and Addison with a big clearance here. Soriano takes it off a thigh. Great settle by Soriano. Very experienced player there. Plays it back to Herrera. Back out to Dancy. And here we are again. Franklin gets the call, but you know, if you're the Falcons head coach, you don't love your center backs really taking on the striker there. Though Franklin fouls him there, if he gives the ball away, it's a dangerous opportunity, one-on-one on goal. As State gets beat by Dabrowski. With the opportunity. And a great save there by Verona. You could probably hear it on the broadcast. Everyone in the complex that's not a Lions fan is complaining about that one. As the center ref, I believe, is going to talk to the AR to maybe see if that was a clean challenge or not. I do not believe the flag went up as Verona went there. Yep, they're checking. Doing a little VAR is what it sounds like, even though we have no video-assisted recording. Play goes on here. Big opportunity for the Falcons. Verona comes up huge with the save. That was number 10, Caleb Bradiger, on goal. Gets cleared out of the way by senior captain Cameron Verona. The Lions taking it way too casual here. Mei State just plays it out of bounds. Johnson with the throw in here. Finds Leyva. Back to Johnson. Lofton working hard there. Ruiz working hard now. Up to Stewart. Inside to Johnson. Back out to Leyva. Good play there by the Falcons. As it ends up on the foot of Dabrowski. Back out to Branson Adams. And mishandled there by Verona. I don't really know what happened there. He either tried to just push it over the goal, but really it was slow enough he could have caught it. Maybe he just mishandled it. Either way, it ends up in the back of the net, and that is number 2, Kristen Cabrera, getting his goal. As the Lions really lost a lot of pressure and a lot of the possession in the recent moments, but, you know, not a huge opportunity there for the Falcons. As it ends up at State's foot and Lofton there. Johnson wins a big tackle. Looks inside towards Dabrowski. Dabrowski trying to beat Saylor. Saylor does well, and it's going to stay in bounds. Going to play it up the field to Gates. Great ball there by Saylor. Gates and Dancy chasing after the ball. Earl's coming through. Gets the foul called. I was about to say, he got checked out of there like a hockey game. And we'll see if there's a service here or if they take the shot. Left-footed Matthew Lofton walks over. Franklin also lined up. Saylor also lined up. As State comes in, they only have one striker up the field. State also comes in. Possibly the second tallest Lion on the field. Him, Addison, and Earls are all up there. I believe if Lofton takes this free kick, it's on goal. If Saylor takes it, it's going to be a pass. Lofton lines up, takes the shot, hits the post, almost goes in for Lofton. Ends up in Saylor's foot, gonna get a service off most likely. Ends up at Dancy's head. Another challenge by Ruiz. Up to Leyva. Need a big challenge by Geiger as Stewart still has the ball. Plays it up the field. Crofy playing right back now, not left. Up the field to Bradiger. Finds Addison at the left back position now, who heads it out. And we reset here as it goes all the way out to Johnson. Johnson maybe pull it in again. Lofton working here, well here. Give up no foul, nothing's dangerous. As Lofton does well, gets a throw in. Dabrowski's probably going to come over and take it. Actually, it looks like he's not, maybe catching his breath still as we play the ball all the way back to Soriano. We apologize for the camera angle there as there is a post in the way. But now we get a foul on Saylor as the Falcons get a free kick. Verona being loud here, has to reestablish his dominance and confidence on the field after that mishandling. But setting up a 5-man wall here with Addison. Addison, State, Crofy, Ruiz, and I believe Saylor. So we are outmanned bad on the left post as Gates gets back. He needs to get back fast. We are outmanned 4-2, now 4-3, still outmanned. Earl's out there. Ball's in the air, probably end up on his head. As he pulls the shot, and Verona does well. Catches it with his chest this time instead of his hands and doesn't mishandle it. As Gates was wide open, he's going to punt it up the field anyways. Ends up in Soriano's feet, back out to State, now to Crofy, back to State. Probably up the field to Lofton, as Johnson saw it coming from a mile away. Back to State. Gives the ball away again. Big challenge by Ruiz. Earls with the challenge. Johnson, Lofton looking for the foul. Ends up Ruiz gets the ball. And Lofton out with the break. Play on, says the referee. Might pull it back. And he doesn't, as Franklin and Dancy are both fighting for it. A football tackle there. Both of them knew it was coming. Both stayed strong as Dancy wins this one. Franklin, Dancy, two big boys on the field. Gives a thumbs up. They're both good sports about it. Gives the ball away. Geiger all the way in the center mid. Back out to Gates. Geiger way up the field, gives the ball away. Gates has to do well here as Geiger works back. Geiger needs to fill in as Addison gets pulled out. Big switch over to Leyva. Leyva, Crofy here. Dabrowski with Ruiz following. Dabrowski gets the ball. Dabrowski falls as Ruiz has plenty of time, can just turn around. Well tracking there by Ruiz. Dabrowski coming out of the center mid position, and Ruiz was chasing him all the way. Franklin now checking to the ball. Needs to do well here. Gives the ball away. Back to Sam Stewart. Big challenge there by Addison. Good win. Earls out to Gates. As the ref calls a foul, it could have been a play on. I think the Lions would have preferred a play on. Instead, we're going to have Saylor serve the ball. Earls up top, Franklin up top, Addison not coming forward, or State for this one. Crofy as well staying in the back. We are outnumbered in the box, 4-5. Looks like as Dabrowski comes in, that's a sixth. Geiger pulling one out, pulls Leyva out. Challenge here by Franklin and Earls. Earls asking for a handball, gets the corner instead. Earls got on the end of that, was headed towards the goal, and it hit off of one of the Falcons, can't tell who. Earls asking for the handball, doesn't get the call this time. Lofton and Saylor here coming to the corner to take it as the Falcons send one. As the Falcons now send a second, we most likely won't see the ball get played short. Addison in the back, probably picking up any trash, serving it back across. So we have Gates, Ruiz, Earls, and Franklin all challenging. Earls front post, plays it all the way to the back towards Addison. Ruiz and Dabrowski go up. Dabrowski with the big win. Ends up in Geiger. Geiger's got to keep possession here. Finds Gates. Finds Ruiz. Ruiz going to get another service potentially. Gets a good one. Ends up on Soriano's. Back to Dabrowski. Clears it up the field. As Gates is working back, does very well to win the ball back there. Mihai stayed a lot of time, but no right back or left back. Crofy finally getting back into position. Geiger got back as well. Gets the ball now from Addison. And back to State it goes. Now over to Crofy. Back to State. Needs some help up top. Gets known. Big challenge here by Earls. Big win by Earls. Taking it into the field. Pulls the shot. Forced wide. Another corner kick here. Good opportunity there for Earls. Didn't quite get it how he liked, but still got the shot on goal and forced the save out of Herrera. I believe Lofton and Saylor still coming to take these corners. As the Falcons send two, second half, we probably won't see any short corner opportunities. Again, we have Lofton, Ruiz, Gates, and Addison cleaning up trash on the back post. Geiger sitting up top. Going to reserve anything back in. As the ball goes back post again towards Addison. Addison, I believe, wins it there. Ends up in Falcons' possession anyways, as Crofy and Bradiger are fighting for it. Bradiger wins the ball. Ends up in Johnson's foot. Back to Stewart. Getting challenged is Mihai and Verona. But Leyva not fast enough to get to that one as Verona gets there. Verona with a little weak of a punt. Still gets to half field. I think he was trying to find one of the Lions. Overhit it though, as Bradiger does well. Wins the ball. Gets it back to Earls. Big ball to Franklin. Blocked though. Back to Saylor. Back out to Crofy. As Crofy dribbles towards an opponent. Lofton versus Johnson. Who wins this one? Johnson with another huge tackle. Johnson's really got our left mid's number today. Great contest and great competitor is Nico Johnson, number 24, the right back for the Falcons. Crofy here may potentially have a long throw as well. Gets the ball up to Saylor. Saylor has to do well here. Probably going to find Geiger. Plays it a little behind him. Geiger does well. Get back. Pulls it forward anyways. Going to serve the ball. Get a good service. All the way to Franklin. Franklin can't get above the ball. Great service there by Geiger as Franklin has another opportunity to put a header in the back of the net. And that's what you love. You love your left and right back being able to serve the balls. Head coach Jimmy Stevens is loving that ball from Bradley Geiger, one of his acquisitions from this freshman class. Herrera playing the ball up the field. Earls and Dabrowski challenging. Dabrowski wins it, but it ends up with Geiger. Geiger probably going to play it long again. Plays it right into the chest of number 20, Branson Adams, who plays it out of bounds. Geiger with the throw. Finds Addison. Addison probably going to switch the field. Lehigh State now with the ball. Another freshman for you. Needs to win the ball. Lofton has to check in for the ball. Johnson ends up with it. Hits it again to the softball field. As head athletic director Jim Peoples goes back to the softball field. That's my favorite ball boy right there. Crofy with the throw in. Tries to throw it over Johnson. Johnson saw it the whole way. Ruiz sort of out of position now. Earls gets blown by. Ruiz coming back, fouls him. As I was stating, he was out of position, so not a horrible foul there. If Crofy's taking that throw in, you have to overthrow everybody, especially if you're sending one of your center mids. Soriano plays it all the way out to Dancy. Back to Soriano. Getting pressured by Lofton. Lofton cutting out the wide pass. Franklin has to do better. Keep him on this side of the field. Force the long ball. Back to Dancy. Franklin's chasing. Ends up with Herrera. Finds Johnson checking off. Big challenge here by Addison. Got to be strong and is. Ends up in Saylor's possession. Now Earls. Back to Saylor. And towards Lofton, just mishit it. Johnson with the through ball over everybody. Addison does well to win the ball. Big tackle, won by Saylor again. Now with State. And he finds Earls. Good ball there by State. Finding Owen now. Owen Gates. As the ball goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Couldn't tell. As we get our first substitution of the contest, Falcons striker number 29, Jamarcus Timmons coming out for, I cannot tell that number yet. I believe 17 potentially. I'll let you know when I know. Addison winning the challenge, ends up with Dabrowski though. Big win there by State, ends up in Geiger's foot. As Earls gets checked again in the back. Another free kick opportunity here. Believe Saylor will take this one as we send Addison up the field. And I stand corrected as I now look at live stats. That was Sean Jorgensen's coming in for Caleb Bradiger. Saylor taking the free kick from about the lacrosse third, if you know anything about lacrosse. It's where they defenders and offenders cannot pass. Service here by Saylor. And I do not know who got on the end of that. It honestly looked like a Falcons player got on the end of that as Herrera comes up with a big save. Either way, dangerous opportunity again for the Lions as they trail 2-1 in the contest. State challenging the ball. Ends up in Stewart. Now Levy. All the way out towards Johnson as Crofy gets the throw in. And that was the newly checked in Sean Jorgensen. Addison with the ball, looking long. Earls could have taken it off his chest. Gates and Franklin have to let him know. Instead, Earls wins it anyways after a couple of weird bounces. End up in Gates. First time delivery gets kept out of bounds as Earls and Lofton are coming over to take the... Yeah, Earls changing his mind. Honestly, good decision there. If they're serving the ball, I'd love Earls in the box getting his head on the end of this one. Earls, Addison, Franklin, Ruiz, and Gates will do it again here at Walker Athletic Complex. Geiger again up top as Gates continues to back out, pulling Nico Johnson out as well. Service in, going back post, finding Addison, serves it back in, sort of, wins it again, ends up on Earls' lap. Shot by Ruiz, but the keeper holds on. Yeah, it looks like, just from here, it looks like we're serving the ball across all the way towards Addison. Addison's supposed to hit it back in. So we got 3 seconds left in the contest, or in the first half. Everyone walking off the field, we are going to see some changes at halftime, I assume. Crofy with the ball, doesn't know what to do with it, leaving it at center field. As the Lions trail in the contest, 1-2, Cameron Earls, the lone striker and the lone header with the lone goal. Verona mishandled a goal, led to the Falcons getting their second goal of the contest. And the first one, just a good play by the Falcons. 2-1 here. Your Lions are trailing. You're listening to Piedmont College Athletics on YouTube. Hello and welcome back to the broadcast. Nick Pope here. It's the lone commentator, broadcaster, whatever you want to call me. Just a normal guy in the booth. Christian Castro on camera here as we're getting ready for second half action here at the Walker Athletic Complex. Piedmont Lions losing 1-2. As Earls is your lone goal scorer for the Lions. You also have goals for the Pfeiffer Falcons with Dancy and Stewart with 1 goal apiece. Dancy, the center back, coming all the way up the field for his goal. And then Sam Stewart with his goal, one of the center mids here. Back out for the Lions is the normal starting lineup with Lehigh State, Addison, Crofy, Geiger, Saylor, Ruiz, and Lofton in the midfield. Earls back up top. Gates on the right side, and I believe potentially that is Jarrett Scott on the left side. We do have a change. Jarrett Scott coming into the contest. So it ends up at State's foot, looking to find the through ball. Gets a little elbow in the end of that one. Might be coming back to that. Ref might. As it ends up all the way back. Adams with the ball. Beats Gates. Owen Gates working well, the freshman. Working well. Lofton with the ball now. Finding Earls. Potentially, Earls was in between the center backs. But instead chooses to play the ball up the field to Dancy. Dancy gets it out as Geiger runs up the field. We might lose you a little bit in the broadcast as it is behind a ill-advised electrical pole for the softball field. But broadcast continues. Geiger with the throw in down in the corner. Into Gates. Back to Geiger. Gets some sort of a service off. Might have been deflected, but no, it was not. Goal kick here for Herrera. Still in goal. In the back, you still have Adams and Soriano. And Dancy as the center back. And I believe there is still, Nico Johnson still out on the right back. Very good first half for Nico Johnson, number 24 for the Falcons. Soriano with the ball, clearing it up, field towards Crofy. Crofy's going to get ahead to it. Finds Ruiz in the middle, actually does very well. Back out to Jarrett Scott. Jarrett Scott strong on the ball, back to Ruiz, back to Scott. Now he's going to do a dance with Johnson, see if he can beat him. Johnson gets the better of Scott as well. Scott went to throw in though. Crofy now gets it inside to Saylor. Saylor with the ball back to Crofy. Inside to Ruiz. Got to be strong on the ball. Gives it away. Addison, Lofton, and Timmons all there. But Addison comes out with the ball as Geiger now pushing up the field. Going to play the foot of Gates. Gates barely keeps it in. Geiger with a big challenge. Back to Lofton. Back to Geiger. Inside now to Ruiz. Ruiz mishandles the touch. There's Cabrera there, number 2 big guy on the field for the Falcons. Looking up towards Timmons, instead chooses Leyva. Back to Cabrera. Inside to the goal scorer in Sam Stewart. Gets a shot off, deflected by Lehigh State. That was number 10, Bradiger, getting the shot off. Big deflection there by State. Verona sees it out as the Falcons get a corner. As we lose a little bit of the corner here, we're going to do our best as I am right behind the camera. I cannot see much better than you can. Service inside, out by Lehigh State. Big win there. Lofton and Leyva, chasing after the ball. Lofton gets beat. Gets it into Bradiger. Looks to cross the ball. Gets too much on it. Right-footed cross there. Takes it towards Verona. Verona, huge punt here towards Scott. Big win there by Johnson. Solid day there as right back. Bringing it all the way up the field. Finds Timmons. Big turn there, but Verona's going to come out, be loud, and get the ball. Probably going to run it out to Geiger as Timmons again is going to challenge this. Up the field, Geiger up to Owens. Gates finds Saylor. Saylor not strong enough on the ball. Lofton gets beat too casually. This is Dabrowski getting a service over Addison. Verona ends up with the ball anyways as we roll the ball out to set Sailor. Sailor, Ruiz, and Lofton need to get a little stronger on the ball here in the midfield as go up to Earls. Speaking of strong on the ball, gets absolutely cleared as Earls tries to take the free kick short. And Nico Johnson going to get a yellow card for challenging too early. Didn't get in between. Smart play there by Earls to force the yellow card out. And well done by the ref to make sure that that is not acceptable by the back line. But going the other way, the Lions would do the same exact thing, and Earls on the other side of that would also be in the way. Smart play there by Johnson. You can afford a yellow card to stop the counterattack, as Sailor will now be taking the free kick. Interesting here, you can't have Mihai, State, or Addison to take this free kick, as Sailor lines up almost for like a field goal. Free kick is how he took his 3 steps and 2 to a side. Gonna serve the ball in towards Earls. Earls on the back end of it. Herrera's gonna punch it to the side. Scott now on the ball. Scott and Stewart fighting over the ball there. Stewart all in his back, but Scott's gonna win the throw in anyways. Now we have Scott here. Gonna find Earls. Nico Johnson all over him. Earls looked up top, gets cleared out by Stewart. And that is in the far corner, like I just said. If the ball's hard for you to see, it's hard for me to see as well. As Crofy comes all the way up to take the throw in. Sailor now ends up with it. Probably going to find Geiger. Does find Geiger. Good switch to the field there by Sailor, the freshman center mid. Finds Gates. Gates with the left-footed service. Back to Earls. Another header, but a big save by Herrera. Great ball there by by Gates. And Earls again finding the back of it. Heads it on goal. Big save by Herrera. Forces it out wide for the throw in. Now here's Geiger getting another service potentially as it gets blocked and we get another corner. Earls are really looking dangerous on the back side of all of these crosses. As Addison comes back up, Mihai, State, and Crofy are the 2 defenders to stay this time. Sailor and Lofton both in the corner as they send 2 again. Lofton going to pretty much clear out as Sailor probably serves this ball in long. Earls with the front post run. Ends up at Geiger. Geiger going to take a hit at it. Gets blocked by a center back. As Earls gets the shot off. Was called offsides, so we're going to just play on. Let it go. As Herrera handles that shot pretty casually as well. Herrera with the big punt, looking for, doesn't matter who he's looking for. Addison got on the end of it. Now Dancy now. Leyva, challenged by Ruiz, goes out for the throw in right at midfield, next to our 3 fans in the stadium. Now Adams. Adams throwing it up top towards Timmons. Chips it up in the air, wins it again. As Geiger's battling. Another service by number 10, Bradiger, the striker. On the back end of it is number 2, Cabrera. Keeps it in. Fighting against Crofy. Crofy doing well. Denying the cross. Cross comes in anyways. Verona's going to have to be big here. Verona does well there, getting challenged by almost 4 people, as when you go in the air, everyone's trying to win. It doesn't matter if you're in a white jersey or a black jersey. Verona does well there. Wins himself a free kick as well, as the keeper is the most protected player on the field. And for the Lions here, we need to create more opportunities. No midfield play really coming out. Only dangerous opportunities are through the crosses. As Adams just heads that out of bounds, says not today. Geiger and Gates. Gates mishandles that pass. Now to Bradiger, big touch. Addison does well, ends up in Cabrera's foot anyways. Addison slow to get up as Crofy's chasing. And a good header there by Mihai State. I honestly thought he deflected it into his goal, into that top right corner, but instead plays it wide. Well done there by State and Verona to know what they were wanting. Bradiger over to take the corner. Dancy inside, Cabrera inside, Stewart also near post, and Dabrowski far post for the Falcons. Big service back post over everybody. Cabrera still on the ball though. Cabrera and Crofy out here. Big challenge by Crofy. Good stuff. Another one by Lofton. Now finds Saylor. Can't find Earls on the back post. Lofton might now. Earls with a big touch and a big challenge there by, I believe that is, if that is Nico Johnson, that might be his second yellow. Instead, I believe the ref is going to see who it is. He's going to talk to him and be like, no more. But that's not deserving of a second yellow. If it wasn't his second, I believe he'd be getting a card right here. Everyone lined up here to take the free kick. Direct shot on goal most likely, as you have Saylor, Lofton, and Earls all lined up here. Earls making a cleat change today, actually sporting the cleats of our senior captain from last year, Jose Linares. Jose Linares has put a couple free kicks in. We'll see if Earls keeps that streak going with those lucky cleats. Number 8 from last year, Jose Linares passing that down to captain this year, Cameron Earls, who is now number 8 as well. Saylor over it. Lofton going to take the free kick, and he gets it into the goal, top left corner. Lofton with a great strike. As we are 2-2 in the contest, great strike there. Earl still complaining to the ref, but all good and sunny here. Great day for some soccer as we are 0-0 in the contest, 2-2 in the second half with about 35 to play. And you know, that's all created because of Earl's hard work and determination to get to that loose ball in the midfield that just kind of squirms out towards the center backs. Works hard, gets checked in the back, and Lofton gets a great free kick on goal. As Dabrowski sends it long, going to most likely end up in Verona's hands. And the tides have changed here, with Piedmont really having no possession but did get the goal. Reminds me of first half, as the Lions dominated the possession in the first half but couldn't get the goals. As the Falcons got 2 on counterattacks, we now have 1 on a free kick, and we're looking dangerous again here as we find Ruiz back to Lofton, into Saylor. Saylor going to switch the field most likely. Instead finds Ruiz again, into Geiger. Going to play it out wide, done well there. It does Branson Adams. Ian Addison there with a big challenge. Scary situation there, but the Lions come out on top as it ends up in Crofy's foot now. Crofy inside to Ruiz. Out to Jarrett Scott, back to Ruiz, going to switch the field most likely. Earl's there, standing strong, gets another call. Instead, they're going to say there was no play on with that advantage. As Saylor getting the service off again, as Earls will most likely track to the back post. Gates, Earls, and Ruiz all on the line. About the 18. The 18 is being held by the Falcons. Service here towards Earls. Earls challenging Herrera. Earls and Herrera collide, and like I previously said, keeper the most protected player on the field. If you touch him a little bit, you're getting the call, and that's what the ref called there. Earls has to be careful there. Any challenge to a keeper could result in a yellow card. As Herrera lines up to take the free kick. And for Lofton, that was his first goal of the season. Had a couple free kicks last weekend against Brevard. One late in the contest, looked pretty dangerous. Keeper had to push it out wide. That one, a lot more dangerous. Keeper had no chance as he put it in the top of the corner. This ball ends up in Verona's hands, though. Verona punts it long. As Lofton won the ball, you could hear Earls from here wanting the ball. As one of the center backs was out, Ruiz getting caught, pushing Dabrowski in the back as well. Really a chippy contest now. Every time the ball is won in the midfield, it looks like there's a foul being called. Let's get the play resumed, get some fluidity into this contest, as it looks like we're almost playing a late game basketball contest with both teams just taking free throw after free throw. Soriano lined up to take this. Addison and Lehigh State standing with Timmons and Dabrowski. Overhit it. Verona's loud. You can hear him from the booth saying it was his. Up to Gates. Ends up at Leva. And as the ball goes out of bounds, I believe it was off of Bradley Geiger as well, but ref didn't have the best angle. Gives the ball to the Lions in this one. Gates with that flick on, didn't get much on it. Challenge here by Ruiz. Ruiz and Earls both there. Herrera's gonna have to just hit it long. Hits it long, does he? Addison wins that one after the bounce. Good work by Gates. Gates finding Saylor into the mid. Back to Gates. It's a good look there by Gates. He wasn't actually just kicking that because he didn't know what to do with it. He actually saw Earls. Earls was lined up behind the center back. Just got the wrong contact. And instead ends up in Leva's hand, and Leva just plays it out of bounds. And we have a screaming contest, it sounds like. I don't know if y'all could hear that on the broadcast, but everyone was yelling, and I don't know why. I think it was Soriano in the back yelling. I think that's Nico Soriano, if I am right. Yeah, Nico Soriano yelling at something. I think he's upset at his strikers and outside mids for not having any sense of urgency in contesting of that ball. Geiger takes the throw in, finds Gates. Gates takes it off his chest a little too strong. Adams ends up with it. Adams with the ball inside to Saylor. Back out to Gates. Oh, and he had Ruiz in the middle, just mishit it. Ruiz got to work back now. Now he's on Leva. Back up to Stryker. And all the way back to Dancy. Dancy with a big ball towards Cabrera. Crawford does well here. Couldn't tell if Verona wanted it or not. Verona said no. And Crawford tries to play it up the field. Gets intercepted by Nico Johnson. Back out to Dabrowski. Dabrowski going to serve the ball in. Dangerous ball. But Timmons cannot get on the end of it. Geiger was matched up well. You can see Ian Addison having that veteran leadership, talking to Geiger there, telling him, let me know he's behind me. Ends up in Stewart's possession. Back out to Adams, back to Stewart. Turns up the field well. Keeps the ball in bounds well, too, as he finds Timmons, who looks it all the way to the back to Dabrowski. Back to Dancy. As this goes back to the keeper, Addison's going to step him up the field all the way to the logo just about. Gets 3 players offsides with that step. Back to Dancy, back to Dabrowski, intercepted by Lofton. Now Earls here. Earls here couldn't get quite around the ball as he has a big touch. They catch up. Adams now looking for a sub. Believe he might have pulled something or maybe a little cramp, as this is the first contest of the year for the Pfeiffer Falcons. He might just be a little stiff still from holiday break. Hopefully he is all right. He looks to be. He's leaving on his own will. Probably rolled an ankle or had a little calf tweak. As you can see, our head athletic trainer, Courtney Zimba, running out to check on him. Seems all right. As Courtney runs back to our bench. And back to that shot there with Earls. Had the touch that he wanted. Didn't get it set up well enough for the shot as he pulled it wide. But he really had 2 defenders there. It would have taken a miraculous strike. As we get our first substitution of the half. Number 22 for the Pfeiffer Falcons coming in for Branson Abrams. And that is Kyle Cam coming in for Branson Abrams. As Earls ends up with the ball. Has too big of a touch again. And the keeper, Herrera, comes out big. and takes that right off of Earls' foot. Earls did good there not to challenge too, I guess, harshly, one would say, so he doesn't get the yellow, as the keeper is the most protected player, like I was previously stating. Ends up with Ruiz, and then Geiger back to Sailor, back to Ruiz. Well done there by Ruiz, Geiger and Sailor, as it's back to Ruiz. Back to Gates. Gates does well, beats the newly freshed in Kyle Cam, beats him again. Now he's taking on Dancy. Ball ends up in Soriano's possession, but a little too strong in the challenge and in the shoulder, as we have another free kick, as the ref said there was no advantage in that play. Sailor going to be taking this free kick, as this time we send Crofy and not Geiger. So we have Mihai State and Geiger sitting in the back with Bradiger. Service here by Sailor. Gets deflected, ends up in the hands of Herrera. The punt here ends up on the head of Timmons, now to Bradiger. Addison challenging. Addison does well there, just slows him down. Gets back into position at that right center back position. Mihai State, the freshman, left center back, as Addison is the righty and Mihai is the lefty. Now to Soriano, back to Dancy. Now out to Cam. Cam does well there, beats Gates. Ends up with Stewart. Stewart's gonna pull it, but instead gets the kick. Sailor really bailed him out there, didn't need the challenge, and forced the free kick. You'll see some veteran leadership. Ian Addison says, forget it, let's get the wall set up. Verona saying the same thing. But really, you can't be giving away free kicks here. That's a dangerous position for the Falcons, as they have Dabrowski, Stewart, and Bradiger all lined up right outside the 18-yard box. This is about 25 out, I would say. You have Bradiger and Stewart both talking, probably discussing who's going to take it, as it is a direct kick. Bradiger going to take it, but really got way under it. Verona didn't look worried at all. Like I was stating in the women's contest last week. Never mind, we have a big giveaway here. Stewart with the ball. Back to Dabrowski. Big service to Timmons. Timmons can't get it. Verona comes out, picks it up. But like I was saying, like I said in the women's contest last weekend, if you get a free kick, you have to put it on goal. Matt Lofton did very well, put his in a great spot to get his goal of the match. But you have to contest the keeper, otherwise the free kick is not worth anything, and coaches hark on you for not being dangerous with your free kick opportunities. This ball, too long for Earls, as Gates overplayed it just a little bit, ends up in the hands of Herrera. Now to Dancy, now to Stewart. Little hospital ball there, as Soriano just has to clear it. Addison gets ahead to it. Lofton gets it off Dabrowski's chest. Big tackle by Ruiz, gets up well, so you can't play on the ground. The ref would have called it. Back out to Sailor, now to Geiger. Geiger needs a run other than Gates. Gates gives it away, but wins it again. Gates or Geiger has to get back here. Addison's going to challenge. Addison does well, sees it the whole way. Lofton challenging that one, ends up with Stewart instead. Ref says play on, no foul there. Lofton with it. Lofton to Ruiz. Now outside to Gates, as I believe he keeps it in. He does. Gates with the service. Soriano clears it out to Dancy. Dancy up to Leyva. And a fast break opportunity here, if we're talking basketball terms. Now up to Bradiger. Inside to Timmons. And now we have Bradiger again with the shot. You're right back, Geiger, Bradley Geiger, following him all the way across the box, gets the block. Ian Addison gives him the high five, saying, good stuff, young gun. As we have a throw-in with Johnson. Now to Bradiger. Now out to Dabrowski. Dabrowski beats State, gets the service, but slides. He looks to be all right, maybe just stretching. Crawfie gonna walk over and stretch him out. Like I was saying, this is the Pfeiffer Falcons' first contest of the year. And with that comes some stiff legs, too much holiday food, still maybe contributing to their stiffness and tightness. But he looks to be moving all right. I do not know. Yes, he will be getting subbed off. Dabrowski putting in a lot of work there and comes out of the contest as we have a couple subs both for the Lions and the Falcons coming in here as Verona plays at the State. We have Lowell Teckelamariam getting his first minutes of the contest, his first touch as well as he gives the ball away as he came on for Jarrett Scott. He's going to be playing that left mid now. Plenty of speed out on the wing for Lowell Teckelamariam, one of the fastest players on the field for sure. As the ball ends up with Bradiger, through ball stuffed out by JoJo is what they call him, Crawfie. Now to Ruiz, back to Geiger. Geiger going to most likely find Saylor here, instead chooses Addison. Addison's going to just boom it up the field. Finds Earls' chest though. Does really well, plays it right to Lofton, back to Earls. Nico Johnson with the big cutout there as Earls was on the net, ends up in Gates' possession anyways. Plays it back to Ruiz. And Dancy clears it out of bounds, does very well as well. Never mind, keeps it in. Finds Leyva, Ruiz there. And a soft foul there called us. We had 3 Piedmont Lions. We were going to win possession without the foul, but they called the foul anyways. And they play it quick. Leyva's not even back in the contest yet. He's still stretching on the sidelines, but the Falcons are playing on without him as we have Stewart with the ball now. Now all the way back to Herrera with Earls challenging. Now Dancy. Now out to the freshly subbed in Kyle Cam, who finds Leyva. Now all the way up to Cabrera. Brought Addison all the way out. We have no height in the middle now with Addison out. Instead, Crawfie does well. As Leyva has the ball as well. And for Dabrowski, I never caught y'all up with that sub. For Dabrowski, you had Kaz Dabrowski checking out, and you have Adriel Parado coming in for him. As Geiger looks up the field, probably going to play it long. Didn't quite get the pass he was looking for. Didn't get around it. Kind of sliced it out of bounds with his right foot. Ball comes into Stewart. Now that's the freshly subbed in Pedro, like I said. And really for the Lions, they're just, maybe we hit the gym too much because we're knocking everyone down with every shoulder to shoulder as the Falcons are looking pretty weak or soft in the midfield, some would say. But with that comes a game style and a gameplay change that the Lions are going to have to make, especially Lofton over there, number 32, so he doesn't get his second yellow. Now that's Leyva working on Lehigh State, or I believe, no, that was Saylor doing well there. CDM doing everything for us there is the freshman Evan Saylor. And now we're going to get another sub as Cabrera comes out for another fresh pair of legs. You have Living Good coming in for Cabrera. 2 new midfielders here for the Falcons in this second half. As the ball finds Addison. Just booms it up the field. Soriano with a great touch there. Finds Dancy now. Now over to Stewart. Up to Bradiger. Bradiger getting harassed by Addison. Addison with those super long legs does very well. Now Earls to Gates. Everyone crashing the box. Earls in, Lowell in. And instead it finds the head of Dancy. Lofton was also in that as Teckelamariam was making his back post run. Now Dancy here, resetting all the way to Herrera. And we have this 2-2 contest still. This contest, Pfeiffer Falcons, not considered a conference opponent. Would be most years, but with the USA South, how we are playing due to COVID precautionaries, they are in the other division, the other side of the bracket. So it's a non-conference game for us, but will be next year when everything resumes back to normal. And we have cross-conference play. So a great opponent for us as we look forward to more conference play coming up next weekend, as the Lions will be taking conference rival Covenant College, and that will be live here on Piedmont College Athletics YouTube. If you're tuning in here, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell. Continue to support your Lions in every way possible, YouTube being the most convenient one, as we have a big block there by Crofy. Verona ends up with the ball. Dangerous opportunity there for the Falcons, though, as we just took the ball way too casually, as Soriano now ends up with it, playing it back to Herrera. Herrera plays it now to Dancy. Gates can't challenge. Ricky needs to check back in. Ruiz, that is, Ricky Ruiz, as they found that center mid when he got pulled out. But Ruiz wins the ball anyways. Now out to Gates. Gates going to pretty much reset. Ruiz has someone on his back. Plays it to Saylor instead. Saylor's going to look to play it all the way across to Teclamarium. But instead, Johnson cuts it out. State all the way back to Addison. Really keeping possession here. We don't have to force anything. As Earls gets a touch to it. Ends up in possession of the Falcons anyway. Now Dancy. Now Stewart. Stewart going to play the ball. Try to play it around Geiger, and he does. He finds Timmons with it. Addison there as well. No foul here, and we're fine. Geiger gets beat again. Crofy clears it out. Ends up in possession of Sam Stewart, number 8 for the Falcons. Chips it over to the sideline. To the checked in Living Good. Now to Cam. Kyle Cam. One of the... Gets no call there as Timmons ends up with the ball. Addison doing well. Great tackle there by Ian Addison. Now a big ball here by Gates with Soriano all around Cameron. Earls, the striker, does well there to shield Earls off the direct path. But huge challenge there by Ian Addison to really cut down all that danger. Those long legs were able to win the ball right off of Timmons' foot and stayed solid as Timmons ran through him and did not get the foul. We have another change now. Teclamarium coming over to the right wing, and Malaman Jallo coming in for left wing as Owen Gates gets his first rest of the evening. Now Saylor hits it on long. Ruiz challenging with it. Ends up at Lowell. Teclamarium's. He was offsides anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But he swung for the glory. Sliced it out of bounds. Almost hit it into the Mize complex up the hill where we play some basketball. And volleyball. Volleyball coming up here as it was also moved from a fall to a spring season. So volleyball will also start, I believe that's mid-March. The volleyball team will get back to competition here. Herrera's just going to clear it long. Teclamarium winning a header. Don't see that one often. Ends up with Geiger. Now to State. Now over to Crofy. Back to State. State going to just look to switch the field again. Instead plays it long to Earls. Earls gets a header to Ruiz. Very good header there. Ruiz taking him on. Finds Jallo. Jallo going to get a service here. All the way across. Found Teclamarium on the back post, who was trying to keep it back in, I believe, but couldn't get around the ball well enough. Dangerous opportunity again by the service, that time by Jallo, last time by Gates, and the time before that by Tekelamariam. All these crosses coming in. Earls is going to get on the end of one of them to put us ahead in the contest. As Herrera plays it long up the field, Dabrowski checked back in for the Falcons. Good to see him moving again. As he gives the ball away, now up to Nico Johnson, who plays it long, and it stays in bounds. Actually, Mihai State with a huge tackle there. I wasn't sure if they were going to call a foul or not, but he got a huge tackle there. Yeah, and I do not believe, or I do not know who Dabrowski checked in for. My assumption would be Living Good, as he was the fresh legs on the pitch, getting back to some more leadership out there with Dabrowski instead of Living Good. But here, as Dancy plays it back to Herrera, we're all living good here on this beautiful campus of Piedmont College. Beautiful skies today. Pretty warm weather as Lofton gets called for the handball. But if you're from around Georgia or the North Georgia area, you know that we have had rain for the past week and a half. These last 2 days have felt great as we find Timmons in the corner. Crofy against him. Now a service there as Verona does good to punch it out. He's going to get a shot anyways by Stewart. Gets deflected. Dabrowski now with it. Now Verona with the shot. Bradiger is complaining he was not offsides as that ball went in the net, but the AR has him offsides anyways. Huge break there for the Lions as that ball really ended up in the back of the net and we got bailed out by an offsides call. Indirect free kick here as Verona takes it with his left foot, finds Geiger up the field. Going to turn to Ruiz. Ruiz should turn up the field, getting challenged in the back. Tekelamariam couldn't keep it in, but number 2, Cabrera, got the foul anyways. As Geiger may play it quick, instead chooses not to. Let Saylor walk over. And instead, Living Good is still on the field, excuse me. Instead, Dabrowski came in for Prado as Saylor takes this free kick. Tekelamariam almost on the end of it, but instead, Soriano comes out, takes it with his chest, dribbles it out. Now cleared out by Addison as it does go out of bounds, far side. Sorry for the light pole in your way. Nothing we can do here. As Kyle Cam now with the ball. Finds Leyva. Up to Cabrera. Now out. Ian Addison out of position, but too much weight on that pass as Verona comes out and gets the ball. Addison, Geiger, Crofy, and State, your 4 in the back today as Justin Deese had an injury yesterday to his shoulder. I believe he is all right, like I previously stated. But precautionary, keeping him out in this non-conference opponent game. Now with Tekelamariam, gives the ball away. Saylor ends up with it anyways. Now Earls with Soriano on his back. Back to Lofton. Lofton now towards Saylor, but gives the ball away. Ends up in Nico Johnson's possession. As he looks for Cabrera, Addison with a big challenge towards Tekelamariam. Pretty good touch there by the junior, Tekelamariam, but gives the ball away anyways. Now Dancy. Now Soriano. Up top, ends up in Addison's possession through a couple deflections. Soriano with a sweet move to keep it in bounds over Jallo in the far corner here. Looking on the field, everyone looks pretty gassed. Maybe we're used to a little warmer weather. Cooler weather, excuse me. With the sun actually out, everyone looks gassed as Lehigh State wins a big challenge. Lofton gets it, but it ends up in Cabrera's hands. Lofton with another challenge. Ends up in Addison's possession through Saylor's back pass. Now Geiger, now Teclamariam on the ball. Finds Addison. Dangerous position for Addison. He doesn't get under it. Leyva gets the ball. Now Cabrera back to Leyva with Bradiger out here on the wing as well. Going to play Bradiger. Bradiger, the right-footed striker, getting a service again. And that time got way too much, almost a throw-in going all the way over there. Instead, goes out for the goal kick. Yeah, and Bradiger just too inconsistent with those services. Too short the time before, that one way too long. As State plays the ball out of bounds, tried to force a ball that wasn't there to sophomore Malaman Jallo. Crofy with a big challenge. Wins the ball, but ends up in Dabrowski's possession anyway. Dabrowski now to Living Good. And out of bounds. Matched up 1-1 on the back line right now. Center striker Bradiger matched up with Addison. And Cabrera on this backside with Geiger. Addison wins the ball. Saylor whiffs. Ends up in Cabrera's possession. Believe he's left-footed, so not that dangerous coming out this way. Cabrera inside. Saylor with another deflection. Ends up in Dabrowski. Dabrowski just pulls it wide. I think Verona had it covered anyways. But dangerous turnover of possession there as we get another sub. And I believe this is Lowell Teclamariam coming out. Owen Gates coming back into the contest as Teclamariam got about 10 minutes of play, maybe 15 in this contest before head coach Jimmy Stevens went back to his starting winger of Owen Gates. Now Addison, you can hear Earls yelling not to force the ball as States put it in and had a little too much pace on the passes. Earls couldn't get quite the touch. Addison's going to push him up the field now as Herrera just hits it out of bounds. See advantage of a little senior leadership, fifth-year senior Ian Addison on the back line. The second it goes back to the keeper, he pushes him all the way up to catch about 3 guys off sides. Now Dancy in the ball. Dangerous ball to play into the middle of the field, but finds Dabrowski anyways. End up in Leyva's possession. As we have a man down on the far side of the field. My assumption, and I believe it is, as Courtney Zimba, athletic trainer, comes out, it is Ricardo Ruiz. And I mean, you can really see on the pitch, everyone's stretching, everyone's sitting down. For the Lions, they're on the second of a back-to-back. A lot of these players played all 90, if not a little less, but just about all 90 yesterday. Ricardo Ruiz coming in, having a huge game yesterday, scoring 2 goals for the Lions, but will most likely get checked out of this contest, as I believe he's just stretching. Jarrett Scott, number 11, the sophomore, coming in for his position. As it looks like Ruiz is all right, just caught a little cramp. Walking off on his own. Yeah, would have been a long time to walk there. So instead, they're going to walk out on the backside of the goal. As Geiger takes the throw in. Jarrett Scott getting his first center mid minutes today. As Geiger has the ball still. Does well to win that corner, or that throw in, excuse me. Didn't really have much there. Gates not strong enough on the ball that time. Ends up in Dancy's possession. Now Soriano. Now a big challenge by Earls and Jallo. And we get an own goal. We get an own goal as Soriano got too much weight on the pass and Herrera slips. Well, that's all created by Malaman Jallo and Cameron Earls forcing the back pass. And like I stated previously in the contest with Matthew Franklin up top, all that pressure on the center backs gets to you eventually, and that time ends up in the own goal. Huge break there by the Lions. As the contest is now 3-2, your Lions are leading with that goal going in the 81st minute. About 9 minutes left in the contest. Dancy now dribbling up the field, now to Cabrera. Geiger all over him. Geiger forces it inside. Lofton intercepts that one, ends up with Earl's possession. Instead, they're going to call the foul. As we have a free kick here, you can best believe the Lions are in no hurry to take this free kick, as we have our striker even behind the ball. As he's going to play it out to the corner towards Malaman Jallo. Jallo keeps it in, but a huge tackle there by Johnson. It's a great challenge there by Johnson. Almost flipped Jallo. Jallo's looks good to get up. But the Falcons are now on the break as it's Bradiger and Mihai State chasing. Bradiger going to get called for offsides. Don't know if he got clipped, fouled, or what, but he got offsides called on him. Yeah, and looking at the stats, they are forcing that. They are going to give it to an own goal, as neither Jallo or Earls got their foot on the back of it. We find Geiger getting pressured by Bradiger is Addison and Saylor. All the way back to Verona. Mihai State just lets it roll past him, plays it with his left foot over Nico Johnson. Good ball there. Johnson does well to win it anyways. Jallo with Johnson fighting for the ball there. As he plays it back to Soriano, Earls wins the ball as well. And just mishandled that pass. Just played it out of bounds. Fortunately, a couple of big tackles there. Now we have another sub coming in. 2 subs here for the Falcons. And like I stated, we're going to have Matthew Franklin come in for Jarrett Scott. Jarrett Scott providing good solid minutes there, but we're going to have that senior leadership drop into the midfield of Cameron Earls, the number 8. 2 substitutes for the Falcons as well. You have Branson Adams coming back in. Good to see him back on the field and feeling okay. He came in for Kyle Cam, and you have Jamarcus Timmons coming in for Cabrera. So Timmons and Bradiger are your 2 highest up the field, with Leyva also up the field as well. Mihai State now getting challenged by Leyva. Wins himself a throw-in, does well there. Awkward situation here. I wouldn't play it to my center backs often. As Crofy throws it up the field, Jallo does well. Body him off the ball. Ends up with Dancy anyways, as Herrera gets another back pass. This one on his left foot, a little awkward. Dancy now, Gates challenge, now up to Adams. Branson Adams starting left back into the contest. Does well there. Now to Dancy, now finds Lofton, who finds Franklin. Now to Jallo. And Jallo and Lofton win themselves a free kick as Nico Johnson really clears the ball out. That's ill-advised, though, as you are down a goal. There's not much of a reason. And as there is now ball wasting, or time wasting going on, the ref is going to look to the scorer's table and tell them to stop the clock. It's one of the weird things in college soccer is you do not have a running clock or stoppage time added at the end of the game, but with 5 minutes left in the contest, the ref can stop the clock with his hands. Saylor running over it. Lofton taking another hit at it, this time right at Herrera, but ends up in the net anyways as he doesn't catch it cleanly. Matthew Franklin gets on the end of that one, getting his goal. All that work up top, all that pressure by the Lions offense creates that goal and that opportunity for the freshman Matthew Franklin getting his first goal of the evening. The whole bench got up to celebrate that one, as that pretty much solidifies the contest, as it is now 4-2 with less than 3 minutes to play here at the Walker Athletic Complex. Big game here by the Lions as they have won the last 2 against Pfeiffer Falcons. Now we can say they've won the last 3 just about. As Timmons gets the ball, loses it to Gates. Saylor gets it. Saylor with the turn. Going to most likely find Jallo. Instead chooses Crofy. Now he's going to find Earls. Now to Mihai State again. State gives the ball away, but Living Good keeps it in. Earls with a challenge. Ends up in Leiva's possession. Now up to Bradiger. Bradiger offsides, but they let him play anyways. As this one goes all the way to Adams. With a huge save there by the senior Cameron Verona. I believe Bradiger was offsides. Instead, they didn't call it. Ends up on Branson Adams' foot. Gets a sweet strike there, but Verona with the huge save. Reestablishing that confidence that he lacked in the first half when he let the second goal go in. Big punt up the field as well. Ends up in Jallo's possession. Jallo going to most likely play Lofton here. A couple lefties over there as Lofton wins himself another throw in. With just about 2 minutes left to play in the contest, Crofy just throws it down the field to Jallo. Jallo didn't win the corner, but instead got the goal kick. As the Lions will drop all 11, probably to just about our half. Everyone's going to drop. Franklin, Jallo, Gates, you can see him at midfield as Adams is pushed up the left back. Owen Gates now caught in between 2 of them. This is Stewart. Adams is going to play it anyways. Addison going to clear the ball, get a bad challenge, get another bad challenge, ends up in a dangerous position inside their own 18. Crofy with a huge tackle there, takes it right off Living Good's foot. And we have Johnson with the ball now. Nico Johnson with the service, ends up with Timmons. Geiger does well, stands strong. Now Stewart, challenged by Lofton. Now Living Good again. Living Good with the service. Deflected by Earls. Ends up in Timmons' possession anyways. Now to Adams. Gets another strike, but sells it wide. Adams actually has a decent little strike on him. 2 in a row. Strikes it. Couldn't keep that one on frame as it is hard to keep a first-time shot from outside the 18 from selling over the goal. Didn't really challenge Verona there. Verona with no hurry to get this ball back in action. Doesn't want to take too long or the ref will stop the clock. Does well. Sends it to midfield. Dabrowski wins that header. Franklin challenges. Now Leiva. Back up to Bradiger. Does good by Mihai. State to put it out next to the Falcons bench. Now to Leiva again. Back out to Living Good. Living Good up to Bradiger. Another good challenge there by Mihai State. Ends up in Leiva's possession. Big header by Addison. As the ball goes out of bounds, your Lions have won this contest 4-2 off of a sweet header by Cameron Earls in the first half. A good goal by Matt Lofton on the free kick from just outside the 18. And then Malaman Jallo and Cameron Earls both forcing that pressure in the back line to force the own goal. As the Falcons lose their first game of the season, their home, or not home opener, but their opener of the 2020-2021 season, the Pfeiffer Falcons are now headed back home to North Carolina. And the Lions are now on a 2-game win streak and undefeated here at Walker Athletic Complex as they beat Berea 5-1 yesterday and now beat Pfeiffer Falcons 4-2 today. Huge game here by senior forward Cameron Earls. Big stops in the back by Cameron Verona. Let one slip by, he's going to be disappointed about. But for the most part, the Lions played a very good contest and created a lot of opportunities on set pieces, corners, and just in free play through the midfield and crosses from the outside mids. For Nick Pope and on the camera, Christian Castro, this is it for the day. You have been listening to Piedmont College Athletics on YouTube.